Okay, so we are going to learn to use or to set up our Midmark anesthesia machine today. So the first thing we want to do is connect our oxygen hose to the drop-down hose from the ceiling. There are two prongs and two little grooves. You just want to line those up and press real hard. Once they click, they should stay together pretty well on their own. They shouldn't be able to come apart. The other thing we want to do is connect our scavenger line. That's the pink hose. So that comes down and attaches right here, just like that. Okay, so parts to the machine. This is our oxygen flow meter here. Turn this knob down here, and the little ball goes up based on the flow rate. The vaporizer is here. We press this button down and turn to our percentage of isoflurane that we want to use. Before we start, we want to make sure that this has been filled with isoflurane. So to do that, we have a little scale right here. It says full and it says empty. And in the glass, you can see the amount of liquid. And you want to make sure that's close to full before we get started. If you need to fill it, unscrew this lid here. And then very carefully and slowly fill it with isoflurane. You don't want to overfill because it'll come leaking out. Once it's full, just place that back in there. And you want it just finger tight. You don't want to over tighten it. We also have our pop-off valve is here. We tend not to try to use the screw-on pop-off valve because you have a tendency that it could get closed and then not reopen before a patient by accident, and that would be bad. So we have this button here. It performs the same function. It closes the valve for us. This is our manometer here, so we'll be using that when we are testing the bags, when we are giving patients breaths, that kind of thing. That's usually when you'll be paying attention to that. So once we're hooked up, we want to hook up our circuits. And there are two different kinds. There's a rebreathing and a non-rebreathing circuit. Either circuit you want to make sure is dry and clean before you use it. We hang them up to dry. Sometimes the next morning they still have a little bit of water in there. You want to make sure that they're dry before we use them. So this is our rebreathing circuit. This is what we use for bigger patients. There are two ends. So this is the end that goes to the patient. And then this is the end that connects to the machine. So we're going to take this end and put it there, and this end and put it there. So this is our incoming and inhalation and exhalation valves. So one each goes there, this goes to the patient. With this, you also need an anesthesia bag. Sizes for these things are all found on the chart in surgery prep, so if you have any questions about that, refer to that chart. For ease today, I'm just using a 1 liter bag, and that goes right here, and it says reservoir bag right there. And again, just tight enough. You want to make sure it's not going to come off, but you don't want to make it on there, put it on there too hard. So once we have our circuit on there, we want to test it and make sure there's no leaks. So we're going to cover the end, and then we are going to turn our oxygen on to about 3 or so, and then we're going to close our pop-off valve. And what you're going to see is you're going to see this bag fill, and you're going to watch your manometer. So we're going to wait until the bag fills, and then the manometer is going to go up. You're going to wait till it goes up to about 20. If you find that it is not filling and that manometer is not going up, you have a hole somewhere. So right there, it hits 20. So once we're done, take your hand off of this end first. Because we don't want to blow any of this stuff back up into the system. So this is a Sodasorb. It helps filter out anesthetic gases and that kind of stuff, CO2, the likes of that. Anyway, we don't want the dust from that to get blown back up into the system. So you want to make sure that you uncover this end first and let the pressure out. Then you can let go of your knob. And then make sure you turn your oxygen off, because we don't want to waste our oxygen supply. So that is our rebreathing system. Our non-rebreather, for our smaller patients, looks a little bit different. So that looks like this. So this makes it a little bit easier for those patients with the smaller lungs to breathe. So this actually comes, it doesn't come with this metal piece. It comes with a plastic piece that unfortunately does not fit our machine, so we have to kind of retrofit it. If you ever have to get a new set, make sure you save this metal piece and use it in the new set. We try not to throw these out. We like to reuse them. So to set this up, we're actually going to take this piece out here. It has the same little metal piece that goes into the vaporizer. And we're just going to let that dangle. This piece goes in where that one came out. So this is our incoming air. And then our outgoing or waste gases go through this blue tube, and that's going to go into this, what we call an air canister, that has the same stuff, same soda source that this has in it, but it's in a smaller container, and it doesn't have any suction on it or anything like that. It's easier for the patient. Your manometer on here, so this is your patient. Your manometer is here, and then your bag is here. You always want to use this little green half-liter bag. You're completely bypassing all of this stuff here. You're still going to use your oxygen, you're still going to use your vaporizer, but all of this is being replaced by this. So to check this for leaks before we get started, this is the equivalent of your pop-off valve here. So it has an open and a closed. So we're going to turn it to closed, and then again we're going to cover the patient end, just like this. I'm going to turn the oxygen up to about 3, and I'm going to wait for that bag to fill, and I'm going to watch this manometer. When it gets up to about 20, I know that we're good. So it's rising there, it's about 20. Okay, and again, I'll let that off of there. Make sure that this gets opened. If you leave it closed, it makes it pretty much impossible for the patient to breathe after a couple minutes, so it's very dangerous. You just want to make sure that's open. All right, and then we're going to turn this off. All right, so basically with this, like I said, you're bypassing this. Your oxygen comes in here, comes to your vaporizer, comes out to your patient, and then back out to the F air. On your other one, it comes to your vaporizer, comes back to here, and then out to your patient, and then back out into the scavenger system. The scavenger system is what takes away all our waste gases and all of that. So that is our anesthetic machine.